and welcome to the Lonely Knitter podcast. My name is Laura and this is episode 66. Thank you so much if you are a returning viewer. Thank you for coming back and chatting with me. And if you're a new viewer, then hi! I'm Laura. This is where I come to chat about all the craftiness in my life, most of which is knitting or yarn related in some way, crochet right now. And yeah, I'm from Lowestoft, the most easterly point of England, and I make hand balm. I sell it under Crafters Balm. I dye yarn. I sell that under Bumbling Yarns. I'll put the link below. I write knitting patterns as The Lonely Knitter Designs, and you can find me on Instagram as @The Lonely Knitter, on Ravelry as @The Lonely Knitter 2, and here on YouTube. Today I look a state. The overhead lighting is giving me major shadowy eye bags, but I'm not that tired. And I am planning on getting some proper lighting soon. So if you've been here a while, you will know that I pretty much rotate around my house, whatever spot in my house I can find that is free, and plonk myself there with whatever I'm working on and try and chat to you guys. Did I say it was Tuesday the 24th of November? Can't remember. If I did, then I've said it twice. But if you are a returning viewer, you might realise, and I'm sorry if you can hear the chair creaking, I promise it's the chair, not me. Though I do creak regularly, on my knees especially. Anyway, if you're a returning viewer, you might notice that this is a new place. I have not been here before. This is a new room. So I've been saying for ages that I really wanted to have a room in the garage. So there is no space in our house. We have a 3-bedroom house. I live with my husband, my cat, my 3-year-old daughter, and my almost 1-year-old son. I say almost, he will be 1 on Sunday. Can't believe it. And our 3-bedroom house is very full of all people and crafty things. Well, we've been saying for a long time that if we could save up, if we could manage to do it, we would build a room in the back half of our garage. So we have a single garage. The back half of it, so we haven't messed with the big front door, has been enclosed into a proper room. So that's where I am now. I'll give you a quick look around. This is probably going to be a disaster because I'll probably end up dropping the phone. This is the project bag wall, and this is where you were sat on my very messy little cart. And then this is my desk, which is very messy, and my wall of storage. There is Christmas presents for, I can't point in the right way, children up there. There is undyed yarn. That over by the door, the wall over by the door, is my stash. This over here is some of my yarn. And yeah, I'm in the corner with the chair. That's not right, is it? There we go. No, I don't know. Whatever. With my hexagon cork boards and the radiator. And I'm going to get some tools out and hopefully, with some direction, get some things on the walls. I've got a shelf that needs to go above my desk, and I've got things that need to hang up. I've got little hexagon shelves that are going to go up here, and so hopefully next time I podcast it will look a little less bare. Okay, I have no show notes whatsoever because everything has been hectic. This weekend the room finally got finished. It's been going on over the last 3-ish weekends. I have one brother-in-law who's an electrician and one brother-in-law who is carpenter. Can kind of do everything. He builds, and he's a snagger for a or he goes and like fixes all the little problems for a building company who does houses, and yeah, he can kind of build anything. So between the two of them, they did all the work, and sort of individually during lockdown came over, and because the garage isn't attached to our house, so they didn't even have to come into the house, they just came and worked on the garage. And they both live, one lives 1 street that way and one lives 1 street that way, so we're all very close, so it was nice and easy to get done. And I finally moved in. There's still things in the house that need to come in here, and I have very little space left, so we shall see how that works. Anyway, on to the knitting. Let's go into finished objects. I'm sure I'm forgetting things because I have no notes, but This room is the start of me being organised, having notebooks to hand, and I'm going to start taking notes throughout the week of things I want to chat to you guys about. So hopefully it will get a lot more organised. So I only have one finished object, and he's kind of not even really finished because he doesn't have his pom-pom on his hat yet. But last week I think I showed you this little guy, and now he's floppy too. I just haven't bent his hat over very much. Now he has a little friend who kind of looks like he's got his hands on his hips. I was trying to make his hands stay like that. Yeah, this little guy to go with him. And then I do have one that is probably about half the hat knit up in the last colour, because these are a set of 3 in my own yarn, which I'm selling in sets of this colour, and then like a yellow that's been overdyed, like a gold that's been overdyed with black, so it has this same sort of darker shade. But yeah, he's only half a hat so far. So this guy's missing his pom-pom, and the rest of the other guy is missing top half of the hat body, though I have knit his arms and beard already. But I'm calling him a finished object because the pom-pom doesn't count. I could leave the pom-pom off and still be happy. I'm not going to, I'm going to put it on, but yeah, so these little guys are hanging out in here. I'll probably put them on a shelf when I have shelves. That's my only finished object. I have been working like crazy because I had a shop update at the weekend, and around the shop update there's been loads of other things going on in the house, which I will talk to you at the end, in life stuff. So you'll see why I haven't got much else done. I only have one work in progress to show you, and then one plan to work in progress as well. So the one whip that I have worked on this week is in a bag that is my only stash enhancement this week, and I can't really show you it if you are a club member. So this is tucked away in this bag, my Scrappy Blanket Club. So this is the November Scrappy Blanket Club. They have all been sent out now. I'm hoping that everyone will have received them today, actually. They should all have been there by now. So hopefully this won't be a spoiler for anyone, but I'm not going to describe the colours. I will quickly show you each one that I have in here and not talk about them. So if you are a November Scrappy Blanket Club, Bumbling Yarns, that is my own yarn, member, then please look away now. So I have the remainders of some whole balls, so I'll just show you these. So this is the one I'm working on at the moment. I make up granny squares with these little granny squares. This is the part 1 that I'm working on at the moment, and I am going to put them all into a blanket. I've been doing it so far with every single month. So yeah, these are all caked up, and what people get when they sign up to my club is a choice between 3 weights. So you can choose if you would like 5 grams of each colour, 10 grams of each colour, or 20 grams of each colour. And they come in little hand wound centre pull balls. So a little extra nice touch that they're hand wound, and you can start knitting them straight away nice and easily. However, I have for December, keep looking away if you're a club person because I'm still showing them. If for December I have, this one's my favourite, just so you know. That's all of them, but keep looking away if you're a club person because I'm just going to pop them back in this bag, and I am going to show the ones that I have made so far. So I have made 3 of the day, so that was my favourite one that I showed you, and then this one, and then this one. Okay, I am done showing. If you are a club member, you can look back while I just finish tidying things away very covertly. Yeah, so if you're a club member, you can, or if you're signing up for the club, because it is a monthly sign up thing, it's not something you need to get in on at the beginning of the year. I've also offered in December, once you place your order, if you would like to, sorry, there is like a big mark on my brand new rug and I'm staring at it. I just noticed that I kept looking over there. Yeah, if you are signing up for the club this month, you can choose. You can have the hand wound balls. If you like the hand wound balls, then don't say anything and that's what you'll get. However, if you would prefer to have them wound into skeins, well, hanks, then let me know. You just need to send me a message after you've placed your order with your name, from the name that's on your order, and I will make a note. You can either have them as skeins, individual skeins, or I will put them together in a random order as a magic knot ball. Magic knot ball. So if you'd rather have it in a magic knot ball, you can. No skin off my nose, there's no extra charge. I am very happy to do whatever anyone would like. So just let me know. Magic knot ball or skeins, or if you're happy with them being in the hand wound balls that you can just start working on straight away, don't say anything and that's what you'll get. So I currently do not have any spares of November, so what I normally do is put up spare sets once I have got out all the pre-ordered ones. If I've got enough yarn for any spares, then I will put them out. I kind of have plans for the remainders of these this time round. I think they're going in as a few little extras to people, and I'm not sure how much spare I'm going to have, so I will let you know if I end up having any spare. Anyway, so that's what I have been working on the last couple of days since those have gone out, because this was club week, me working it to make up the clubs, the scrappy clubs. I didn't have a lot of time for projects myself, but I have pulled an old whip out. So part of doing up this room and bringing things out into the room is having a whip wall. So I have tons of project bags hanging up on the wall next to me, and this one I am having out and on the floor down next to my chair at all times, so that if I haven't got something to work on, I can grab this out and work on it. This is my scrappy blanket, my scrappy crochet stripey blanket from last year's Advent. I started it before last year's Advent. I think I started it mid-year, but then I started putting the Advents from last year. So last year when I got all my scrappy Advents out, the ones that I swapped with my friends that had like 5 grams in each, I started to put them into this blanket. So there's not a stitch marker on that end stitch, which is silly, but here we go. So it's a sizable, we're getting there. I think it needs to be maybe this is about a third done for me to be happy, and it basically goes just over my whole wingspan. So it's a nice size to go on this chair. Actually would be perfect for this when it's done. It could go over this chair. At the moment on this chair I have a quilt that I made a few years ago, but I like the idea of a nice crochet blanket. It can either go on here or it can go on the office chair, but I am loving it. It's just very big, and whilst it's just granny stripe crochet, there are a lot of other things that I've been working on, and it got put away and sort of forgotten about. So it lives in this giant bag. I like big balls, which I got off Etsy. I think it was a Seconds, but it barely feels like a Seconds. It is now covered in marks from just being hauled about outside. I think the reason it's a Seconds is because the name tag for the shop is sewn on backwards, and it's Kelly Connor Designs, and I got it on Etsy. It was very inexpensive. And inside I have one of these Wool Warehouse, you know, when you order from Wool Warehouse and you get everything in one of those bags, and it's full of minis that I've been gifted from friends. These I think I was gifted from my friend when I was in hospital last year. Then loads of them are from Advent swaps, and some of them have the names of, like this one's Legacy Fibre Arts, so this must have been in a Advent swap with my lovely friend Sharon of the SCR1TNO podcast. And then yeah, I mean there's tons of amazing ones in here, and there's some, you know, there's sort of something for everyone. They're all very different, so it'll really make for an amazing bag. But yeah, this one's even, this is even one of the days from one of the Advents. Oh no, this is the bag. So it's one of the Advents that I had last year. It's also it's the bag that I've kept from that Advent, and I've got loads of things like a mango lip balm and loads of little, I didn't eat these last year, obviously I was keeping them in here, little chocolate Santas and snowmen and some tea bags. Oh, and hey, I kept some paracetamol in there as well. I would have been opening this Advent as I was just after my cesarean with Alfie, so painkillers were probably a major must-have. But yeah, so there is many minis. tucked in there, all ready to go into here. And this one, I am just using a 4.5mm crochet hook with a squidgy handle I got from Hobbycraft. And I have had a few people say to me, oh, it's really hard to do a granny stripe blanket because if you're not a crocheter, I'm not a crocheter, I'm a knitter who does crochet, because it gets all wibbly wobbly on the ends, because I'm doing the clusters on the granny stripe, and you can so clearly see what goes where, or to me, you can, from whatever tutorial I got it from, I could so clearly see. I've actually managed a straight edge, which I don't think I've ever managed on anything else crochet. But yeah, I'm really, really loving this blanket, and I can't wait for it to be done, so I do need to pick it up. If I don't manage to sort of stay true to it over the next few weeks, until the end of the year, and it doesn't really grow, then I am going to knuckle down with it next year. And Sharon of the SCR1TNO podcast runs a square a day blanket knit along. You can do a stripe, you can do other things, she's flexible, and basically the idea is to do one square every single day throughout the year and have a blanket at the end of the year. Go on to her podcast and you'll find so much more about it, but it's just a lovely, lovely thing to do, and I'd love to actually have some blankets instead of a million half knit blankets around my house. So yeah, that one's coming out. Stash enhancement, I just have one thing in here to show you, and that would be my new bag. I got this bag today. I bought a bag, I had the opportunity to buy a bag from my lovely friend Jo, So Can Jo on Instagram. Jo is so talented, and she makes these bags, and she doesn't sell them, or she didn't previously. So to have one of her bags was like really special to me, and I'm looking at my whip wall right now, and there is at least 2 bags with whips in up there. There are more of her bags in the house as well. So I'm very lucky to own some Jo bags, So Can Jo bags. And she sent me this one. So she let me and a group of our friends pick some fabrics and then tell us what bags we wanted, and I really wanted this small bag, and so I bought this one off her. She made it specifically for me. We were talking Christmas bags because Christmas is coming up, and I do have a few Christmas bags, but this was the size I really was after, so I'm really, really, really chuffed with this. It has 2 glorious handles, and then it's all in the same fabric. It's her smaller size, so this is way smaller actually than the ones that I have from her previously. She did give me the choice of having a big one or a smaller one. I really wanted this size, and actually from what she said I almost thought it was going to be smaller than this. This is the perfect size bag. Jo, if you're watching, these bags, this size is the best size I've ever seen. I love it. I love it. I need some more of this size. I love it. So yeah, so it's Christmas, definitely Christmas. We've got Santa in his sleigh with some reindeers. We have some presents, Christmas trees and snowflakes and stars. There's the reindeer in their stable. It actually says Rudolph, and the one looking through the door has a red nose. And then there's the elves in the workshop, toy factory workshop, and then reindeers drinking or eating, and it says reindeer food on the little trough, and then there's another little reindeer food trough, another Christmas tree with presents underneath. Is that not just the most glorious Christmas bag? The rustling you can hear in the bottom is all the sweeties she put in. I've got to reach under the club because the club yarn is on the top, but sweeties and chocolate. The chocolate is definitely for my children. I do need to put it away for the children. If I don't eat it by later, it'll be for the children. Sorry. But it is a drawstring bag. There are pockets, so look away if you are in the November Scrappy Club and you haven't opened it. There's more sweets in here if you haven't opened your November Scrappy Club, and I will just give you a quick peek because I don't want to take all the yarn out, but it's this gorgeous fabric in here. It's quite a long pocket, and then it's divided in 1, 2, 3 sections, so really handy for like stitch markers, scissors, little bits. And then it is a drawstring as well, so drawstring with handles. I mean, how good is that? And then I love this, her little tag that says handmade by Joe, and then on the other side with a heart, it's got hearts on both sides, and then on the other side says at So Can Joe, which is where you can find her on Instagram. I'll just show you her card. So Can Joe handmade bags. Joe is so talented and I love it. Here's her information on the other side. So just go, and it has got her Etsy shop on there, so if she's popping any in the shop, then I'll be there, Joe. I'll be there. Fighting against everyone else, but I will be there. And she just popped me in some little extras, some gorgeous stickers. One that says say cheese, and one gorgeous little one in a wreath. And I was going to pin them on my pegboards, but if I'm honest, they're stick-on pegboards and the radiator's underneath them. Probably wasn't the best place to put them because they keep sort of coming away from the wall a little bit. But we'll see. I was going to pin them onto the pegboards, but then it makes me sad because I'm like, then the sticker will have a hole in and I want them to stay perfect. So I might not put them on the pegboards, or if I do, I might just bulldog clip them. I might put a bulldog clip on them and hang them on one of the pegs so that they don't get damaged. And then I'm going to put them in my bullet journal or one of my notebooks, or on one of my notebooks, because they're just absolutely glorious and I love them. But I am going to peg up Joe's card because, you know, it's so right that someone that I love as much as Joe, because she really is a gem of a person, should be the very first thing pegged onto my hexagon pegboard. So that's it. Pinboards, not peg. What am I on about? Joe, your card is the first ever thing on the pinboard. So yeah, this bag, my stash enhancement for this week, and definitely going to be the favourite throughout this Christmas period because it's gorgeous. So I think that's everything that I brought in to show you that I've worked on this week, because my main labour of love has been this room. It has just taken up so much time, but now it's done and I'm in here, I've moved in. I mean, honestly, I could sleep in this chair, it's so comfortable. And all I need is a Wi-Fi booster. I need a Wi-Fi booster because the Wi-Fi isn't great out here, so I have to use my phone to make a hotspot to be able to get anything on Netflix. But yeah, this is my favourite place in the house right now, or in our home, because it's technically not in our house. I was just going to show you some of the bits that went into the shop this week. So I will show you that after I've just chatted about what we've gone on this week. So if I'm losing you now, I'm going to talk about life stuff and then I'll be talking about shop stuff. So yeah, if I am losing you now, then thank you so much for joining me. Look at the shadow under my nose. I definitely will be getting some lights. I have got 4 spotlights in here, but I need some lights because the shadow is real. It gives me raccoon eyes. Okay, I probably shouldn't have gone that close. Yuck. This week, what have we done? Okay, this week I have spent time at the hospital with Ellie. More time getting prepped for the peanut desensitization trial. And Thursday this week we will be going back. She will start her food challenge days, where they try her on little chocolate puddings at intervals throughout sort of a 5 to 6 hour time period. And well, this is how it's been explained to me, we've not done it before. Some of them will have a placebo in and some of them will have peanut in, and they have to see what she reacts to. So that will be interesting. I'm hoping, you know, they said they'll be on hand with EpiPens and Piriton, etc. I mean, Ellie usually just has Piriton and she's fine. She doesn't go into anaphylactic shock with her peanut allergy. So hopefully it won't be too bad. She did the initial testing last week. That's done. That one they had to draw blood. They don't have to do that again this time, thankfully, because it was a little bit horrendous, bless her. She is a sensitive little 3-year-old. So yes, she did the first bit of that last week, and we have the next stage on Thursday. It's Tuesday today, so it's coming up nice and quick. Then we have, what else this week? My dad is going to be childcare for Alfie because you can't take other children in with you to the hospital. So thankfully childcare is still allowed. We are on lockdown here in the UK. Childcare's allowed, nursery's still allowed. She's still at nursery, but she only goes to nursery Mondays, Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So Thursday morning my dad is going to have Alfie while I take Ellie to the hospital. And yeah, this weekend I was just moving into this room. I'm really chuffed with my bargains on this room, or how much it's cost me, because I didn't have lots of money. The room cost all the money. I now have no money. So I had a very minimal amount of money, and I really wanted to do quite a lot. So I have the giant bookcase over there. That was my dad's. He had that in Portugal. I have the smaller Kallax IKEA bookcase over here that we've had for 9 years since we first moved out. My dad, when he moved back from Portugal, he had a trailer of stuff and he drove back and he was like, I don't want this. Do you want it or shall I throw it away? If it works, we'll take it. So we've got one big unit, one small unit. The desk we bought early in the year for Chris to work from home on, and it's been taking up Alfie's bedroom for so long. So now Alfie's getting his bedroom back. The office chair was, Chris's dad has an office, and like a proper one that he and Chris's sister work in, and for their business, and he had this spare, very worn office chair. It's only worn in one patch. That's what they said to me. It's very worn. It's only got one little worn patch under one leg. I'm going to put a blanket over it anyway, so you're not even going to see. Not that anyone else would see it, so that was free. This chair is a leather armchair. It is worn, like the leather's worn. A few people have told me that you can feed the leather and you can bring it back to its luster. I mean, the bits up here are fine, but I actually really like the really worn look, and I love it. The quilt on it I made myself. The chair I bought off the Facebook Marketplace for £35, so I was chuffed with that. Then I have a chest of drawers over there. Again, we've had that for 9 years, and we actually didn't buy it. When we bought our flat, it was the last flat to go in the block. We bought a ground floor flat, was our first home, and then we sold that a few years ago, 4 years ago almost, 4 years, to buy this house. And it was the show flat, and they were so desperate to get rid and just be off site, that because it was all a new build, that they gave it to us for the same price as one of the empty ones, but it was fully furnished. So that's a chest of drawers that we had in the flat. So it's actually not older than 9 years, because the flat was a show flat for sort of a few years before that. So I bought a whiteboard to go up on the wall there. I've got some hooks that are on the wall here. The most expensive thing, so all of those cost a couple of pounds. And then the most expensive thing in the room is the rug. I bought a rug from B&M, and it was £40. So I have spent less than £100, which is good because I'm a bit broke now. But I spent less than £100 and it's done, and I'm in, and I love it to bits. I can't even begin to explain how much I love this room and how much I'm loving having my house back. My kitchen, I can see the floor so I've got a kitchen diner, and on the dining side of the kitchen you haven't been able to see the floor since April because of containers and tubs and shelves and all sorts for the business. When Crafters Barn started, it just overtook my house, and then I started dyeing yarn as well, and it all got a little crazy. So yeah, it's been quite a year, and on one hand COVID has been hideous this year, and made this year into something that none of us could have expected. But on the other hand, this year my business began, and now I'm here in my own little room, and so on the other hand, 2020, I will remember it for a lot of lovely things too. I'm very blessed. I know I'm very blessed. But yeah, this room is not just a space for my craft things and getting them out of the house, and meaning that the house is a whole lot less full of stuff, and that my children have more space to play, and that I cannot worry about Alfie crawling around, that he might get something that I don't want him to have. it's not just that, it's a private space for me. And I know that sounds really self-indulgent and silly, but I do get overwhelmed with other people, my ability to be around other people. Sometimes when you're a mum to 2 young people and you can't get away, I have 2 days a week where I don't have children, and on one of those days I clean my grandparents' house and my dad's house, and I just do some family stuff. So I have 1 day a week that is free, and it's only free from 9 until 3 while Ellie's at school. I have childcare for Alfie on those 2 days from my lovely mother-in-law. Wednesday I have with just Alfie, and then the rest of the week I'm with both my children, and I love every moment of it, and I'm very blessed and I'm very lucky and I'm not complaining. But having said that, I like my own company. I'm really introverted quite a lot of the time, and I know that might sound funny when you do a podcast or you're able to be really out and open with people. I have that side to me as well, but I need my alone time to process and to just be. So it's something I really, really treasure. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I really treasure this space. Really, really treasure this space. Anyway, so on to shop stuff. So if I'm losing you here, thank you so much for joining me, and I will hopefully be back next week with another podcast where hopefully I will actually have some more finished things to show you and a bit more done. But I will just show you something that came into the shop. Oh, got very close there. Oh, if you're still with me, last little bit of stash enhancement, but it's not stash enhancement, but it is something I bought this week. I bought these 2 prints as downloadable images on Instagram. These are Mina, the knitting expat. She does watercolour, and she has a dedicated Instagram for her watercolour. These are 2 of them, and she sells them on Etsy as downloadable images. So I have just downloaded them and printed them on my home printer. The bottom one, which is the Dandelion, that one was printed on white card, and that looks really good quality, and I'm really happy. The top one is the whale. You can tell the paper quality isn't as good, but I didn't have any card left, so I may reprint that one at some point on card. And yeah, let me just sit down with you. I have now got some cheap, everything's cheap, frames, white A4 frames to go up in this room that I will be putting those in, and hopefully a few other things. I've been looking at just getting some handmade art, some, downloadable images are great because you can save the postage, and my printer's an okay printer, so if anyone else has any downloadable art that they can recommend, it's also usually a little bit more cost effective for me. I'm not saying that art isn't worth paying for. I definitely think it is, otherwise I wouldn't have bought those 2, and I think those were incredibly reasonably priced. It's just that I don't have a huge budget. So yeah, downloadable art is just a nice thing that I can print out and pop up. So I'm just going to show you some things I didn't show you last week. So I did do a shop update on the weekend. I won't be doing one this coming weekend. I will do one the one after, hopefully, if everything goes as I hope it does. And there might be something popping up before that shop update. So this was one that I dyed just before this weekend's update and popped in the shop. And I love this colourway. I have this on sock, my sturdy sock base. I have now bought, so I wasn't 100% sure about what to call this, sturdy or strong, or this is a sturdy sock. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to call it, but this sock base has been the only one that I've worked with so far, and it's a really strong, like, you feel like it would be hard wearing. I'm not saying it's scratchy, because it's not, but it's not the softest sock yarn out there, and for socks it's perfect. So this is She Is Fierce. I have now bought, just to try it out and see if anyone's interested, a really squishy, really snuggly sock yarn, and So we shall see. If anyone's interested, I'll dye a few things on that and we'll see if that's more popular. Then I will bring that in more regularly maybe. But yeah, this is She Is Fierce, and it is there's a lot of natural patches, and then it's all over speckles of pink, this gorgeous hot pink and black. So there we go. And I want to sit here and just stare at it and rotate it because I literally love this yarn. It's my favourite thing. I don't want to get my face, I want it to focus. So yeah, She Is Fierce, and I still have some of this left in the shop. And I had a couple of these go in. This is a self-striping sock yarn. It is a 2-colour self-striper. I am only doing 2-colour self-stripers at the moment because I have a very small warping board. So when you dye self-striping sock yarn, you can't... If I took an ordinary skein and just dyed half one colour and half the other colour, the stripes would be micro striping. They wouldn't be incredibly thick stripes. If I take that skein of yarn and wind it around basically a big loop but on a board, and then I'll have a giant loop and I dye half one colour and half the other. That's how I get this. I want to start making them with more colours, more stripes, but I'd like those stripes to be substantial, good stripes. So I need to get myself either a much larger warping board or a mill, and I think the mill is what I would prefer. So I'm saving up. This room has blown me out, so I am now saving up for the warping mill so that I can offer more colours. So yeah, if you guys place an order, you know that I am saving up towards that. But this one went in the shop and I called it "And the Bells Are Ringing Out." And if you can say that and not sing it in your head, then you're a better person than I am, because I just sat there going, "And the bells are ringing out for Christmas Day." It's after one of my favourite Christmas songs. I put 2 of these in the shop. They have both sold, and I have started dyeing more because I have opened up pre-orders. I had so many people message me about this yarn, the Bells and the Bells Are Ringing Out, and wanted to get in on the Christmas spirit with that one, that I have opened up limited pre-orders. They will all be dyed and posted within 2 weeks, probably sooner, because my anxiety means that I like to get things out very sharpish. I'm dyeing some up this evening, in fact. But if you want one, there are still a few pre-order slots. I haven't been able to open loads, not because I don't have the stock, not because of that at all, but because opening pre-orders for things when I'm not 100% sure that I can get them done in a timely manner makes me incredibly anxious. I know that the amount of pre-orders that I put up, I can definitely easily get out within 2 weeks, and then if that happens, I could then offer maybe more pre-orders if anyone's interested. The idea of opening up more just to get the money in and then failing to meet the deadline would make me really nervous and anxious, and I just can't. I can't. So not doing that. Yeah, so I think that's everything that I was going to talk about this week. If you're interested in anything that I've shown on the podcast that is mine, then I will put my website below. Thank you so much for joining me. If you leave a comment below if you've got any questions or anything like that at all. I'm trying to think how I usually sign off. I feel like I've forgotten to tell you something, but I can't remember what it is, so it'll have to be next week if I remember. Thank you so much for making me a little bit less of a lonely knitter.